The Netherlands is perceived as a very tolerant country when it comes to the LGBTQ community and its rights. After all, we were the first country ever to legalize same-sex marriage, and the annual Gay Pride is one of the biggest and most visited in the world. Even 92% of the Dutch population argues that homosexual men and women should be accepted, and therefore oppose discrimination. However, recent events and studies have proven that there is still need for improvement.
For example, in 2017, a gay couple from Arnhem was attacked by a group of 5 young men. One of the victims was hit in the mouth with a bolt cutter, which resulted in him losing 5 of his front teeth. Even though it was evident that homophobia played a big part in the attack, due to the use of homophobic slurs, the court quickly ruled out the possibility of a hate crime, simply because there was a lack of sufficient evidence. Unfortunately, it happens more often that violence against LGBTQ people does not get recognized as a hate crime, because it is too difficult to prove.
This is quite surprising, especially when taking into account the image the Netherlands has. According to the Rainbow Europe Index, the Netherlands no longer ranks in the top 10 of most LGBTQ-friendly countries. The Rainbow Europe Index is a ranking tool created by the International Lesbian and Gay Association. It lists 49 European countries based on the laws and policies the countries have implemented to ensure the protection and safety of the LGBTQ community. These laws include everything from anti-discrimination laws to the recognition of same-sex marriage and the legislation on gender definition and intersexuality. What we can see in the Rainbow Europe Index is that we do have laws that protect individuals against hate speech based on their sexual orientation, but not on their gender identity. And to make things even more controversial, there are no laws that protect individuals against hate crimes, nor regulations that actually tackle hatred for either sexual orientation or gender identity, meaning the Netherlands does not explicitly prohibit violence and discrimination against LGBTQ people. The current top 5, in ranked order, consists out of Malta, Belgium, Norway, the United Kingdom and Finland. The Netherlands follows up at a surprisingly low 11th place, mainly due to the absence of laws that protect transgender and intersex people. The important question is, what is going wrong? Apparently the level of acceptance is lacking in certain groups or communities. The majority of the opposition to the emancipation of the LGBTQ community derives mostly from young people, predominantly male, which often relates to macho culture, elderly people, usually 70+ years old, and individuals who originate from a strict religious background. For example, 32% of the population still finds it problematic when a male homosexual couple shows public affection, which is almost triple the amount of a heterosexual couple. The question remains, how can this problem actually be solved? It is difficult to find a solution for a problem which has as many different roots as this specific issue, especially due to the different points of view from which the opposition to equality of LGBTQ people originate. Is the problem purely cultural or maybe more societal? Or does the issue stem from demographic factors such as age? The answer to these questions can either be yes or no. For example, there are cultures which prohibit the execution of a homosexual lifestyle, but there are also cultures which accept it and do not find it problematic at all. This could also be said for the other two questions. To at least progress this issue into a more positive direction, people first need to know the actual situation. This can be done through multiple channels such as rallies at schools or marches through cities such as Amsterdam. Both have been done before and can definitely contribute. A project that is currently used is the application of virtual reality at events to create empathy. This gives the person who experiences the virtual reality an insight on what it feels like to be discriminated against on the basis of your sexual orientation or gender identity. Another way of tackling this issue is to work together with the before-mentioned groups that supposedly oppose LGBTQ emancipation. For example, let football players march hand in hand onto the field, or organize city marches that include religious and LGBTQ people. And lastly, lobbying for equal protective laws and regulations should be of top priority to ensure safety and security against hate crimes for all members of the LGBTQ community.